It's like the calm before the storm. On this Wotans day, many thoughts come to mind. I'm sitting here thinking, it's the turn of the new year. It's finally, well, in the state I'm in, some snow. And it has me sit here thinking and pondering on everything that's been going on. Whether anything happens this year, next year, or within 5 years, 10 years, or so on and so forth, in the grand scheme of things, we are definitely in a moment of a turning of tides. In the grand scheme of time itself, we're on the edge of a cliff, the edge of a waterfall. Moments known as any time this year, next year, within 5 years, that change, the tide will be off that cliff, and whether we'll jump off ourselves or be pushed off or dragged off, eventually we're gonna jump into that abyss. We'll be in a time of complete and utter change. It could be chaotic, it could be straight into order. I'd be a fool to sit here and say I can predict how and when and where it's going to happen. I think any of us can say it's unpredictable on that until it happens. But there is one thing for sure that I know we can do, and it's we can stop the cycle of indentured slavery, pretty much, is what I would like to call it. Kid yourself all you want, no matter what. We are slaves to this system. And sometimes we are willful slaves. But we can bring change. We can light the way forward. We can be that torch for our descendants, the foundation for a new beginning. But we have to act. We gotta stop whining. We have to stop fighting over the stupidest little shit. You know, we can't sit here and constantly say we need change, or we want change, or this needs to be done, or that needs to be done, or I'm gonna do this, or I'm gonna do that, and then a year goes by, and what happened? They just grew an inch or more forward, and we're still sitting here. We've progressed from when I've started on this path. We've progressed a lot more than I ever thought we would. It's been a long journey for a lot of us, but a journey of strength, courage, true courage, making the decisions and making the effort to learn about something that's so natural and so real to us, but yet it seems so far away. unless you walk out here in beautiful nature and actually take that journey forward. It is beautiful. And I'm sitting here drawing runes, but they're everywhere. They're part of nature, as we are. Look, just how beautiful this is. And this ties back to what I'm saying. This won't be a long video because this isn't my my gift. But it's important to me because eventually we pass that torch that I mentioned earlier down to our descendants. And in my mind, I imagine, if I were to have kids, my daughter or my son looking up at me. And I hope it doesn't happen this way, but you never know. In that moment when it's time to jump off that cliff, or if we're pushed into that cliff, over that cliff, into the abyss, and I imagine my daughter and my son looking at me and saying, "Thank you, Dad," or maybe my daughter's daughters and son, or my son's son and daughter, my grandkids, saying, "Thank you, Grandpa, for the effort you put into that foundation." So that when this happens, when shit hits the fan, as they say, they're prepared. I'm prepared. We, as a people, are prepared. Because, when it comes down to it, everyone's sitting here saying, "Oh, we need to make this grand, big movement. We need to identify ourselves as something. We need to get all political." I'm really starting to understand this concept. There is no political solution. The only solution that I can see in my young mind, and mind you, I'm no expert, I'm no scholar, I'm just studying on my own. The only solution I can see is preparing ourselves. In any moment you have a chance to speak out for our people, do it. Take that chance. So many times, everyone sits there and says, "We need change." What are we doing? What are we doing to cause that change? Are we being that torch, that fire, that passion within us? Using that to push us forward, push our people forward. Even in cold days like this, our ancestors knew how to stay warm. Do we know how to stay warm on cold days like this? Do we know how to hunt? Do we know how to survive in this weather? Do we know how to survive in the woods? You can look at this literally. You can look at this figuratively. The question still stands. What are we really doing? What can we really do to prepare our descendants? Because if we're going to be realistic, there's absolutely nothing else we can do but be prepared and ready ourselves and our kin and our kin's kin. We would be fools to think that anything major could happen so easily. And it may, but the chances of it are slim. It's a dreamland. But This is real. Could you survive this? Could your kids survive this? Well, hope everyone has a wonderful Wotans Day. And hail victory.